Hi, 6th grade, this is Mrs. C, your visual content specialist. In this video, we're going to be looking at a strategy called the 5 W's and an H. This strategy is going to help us understand what the texts we engage with are all about. Using this strategy, you'll be able to determine central ideas of a text and demonstrate your understanding or synthesis of those texts by creating a summary. So what are the 5 W's and an H? This is a self-questioning technique that supports your understanding of what you're reading. What I mean by self-questioning is that when you're reading, or as you're reading your text, you are asking yourself these questions and annotating on your notebook or on your worksheet for these 5 or 6 questions. In order to use the 5 W's and an H strategy effectively, you're going to have to do 3 things. First, start reading your text in chunks. When we read our text in small parts, we're giving ourselves the opportunity to process what it is that we're reading, and it helps us understand what we're reading a little better. As you're reading, you're going to do number 2. Ask yourself the 5 W's and an H. And finally, you're going to put the information you've gathered all together to create a summary. In the modeling that we're going to do next, we're going to start by reading a text in parts or in chunks. As we read the text in chunks, we're going to ask ourselves who, what, when, where, why, and how, and annotate for these responses. Then we're going to use those responses that we've identified to create a summary. When we create a summary, it helps us put together everything that we've learned so far and look at the whole entire picture of what the text is mostly about. This is an anchor chart to help you remember what each question stands for, or what are the questions that you're actually asking yourself when reading. Who is it about? So who is the text about? What happened in the text? Where did it take place? When did it take place? So when we're asking when, we're looking at dates, time, weather. Why did it take place? And how did it happen? In Day 13 of Unit 1, Early River Societies and Passports to Social Studies, we're asked to determine how geography affects the development of early societies. In order to be able to answer these questions, we have to read a text called Ancient Egypt, Life Along the Nile. So let's take a look at what using the 5 W's and an H actually looks like. We're going to be reading this portion of Life Along the Nile and gather as much information as we can as we read. Life along the Nile. None of the achievements of the remarkable ancient Egyptian civilization would have been possible without the Nile River. There is always a connection between landscape and how people develop. It does not take the wisdom of a sphinx to understand why. So I'm going to stop there and just look at this one paragraph to see how much information I can gather from it. Does it state anything about a person? Well, it talks about the Egyptian civilization. Does it say what about the Egyptian civilization? It talks about that they had many achievements. Does it say when? not yet. Does it say where? It says Egyptian. So I'm going to infer that we're talking about Egypt. So where would be Egypt. Does it say why? Not yet. And how? Not yet. So we're going to have to keep reading in order to get the rest of this information. Archaeologists and historians don't know exactly how Egyptian civilization evolved. It is believed that humans started living along the Nile's banks starting in about 6000 BCE. For the earliest inhabitants of the Nile Valley, food was not easy to find. There were no McTuts selling burgers, and though there were a lot of crocodiles, those critters were pretty hard to catch. So we do have a when. We see 6000 BCE. We also see that they had many achievements due to the Nile. Successful because of the Nile River. How? It says they don't know exactly how, but maybe I can infer that because they live next to a river, they had good farming, maybe they had a good trading. And these are just inferences because as I read the rest of this article, I'm going to get even more information. But because we're modeling such a short piece, I'm just going to write down what I think I know. So now we're ready to write a summary. In my summary, I'm going to take the responses that I have here and create maybe a sentence or two about what this text is about. Your summary might come later on after you've read the entire text. But because we're modeling, again, I'm going to just summarize what I've read up to this point. So, the Egyptian civilization was successful during 6000 BCE because they lived on the Nile River. And this is just an example of what your notebook or your worksheet might look like when you are annotating on the side for information that you're reading in the text. So now you're going to have your turn at using this strategy, 5 W's and an H, in Unit 2, Day 13, Early River Societies.